Welcome to day one of what I'm going to refer to as the bender. Now, this ain't no partying kind of bender, no. This is, I have to work a little expo, then I have to drive. Let's set up the scene. So recently I just got a job as a shower salesman, of all things. You know, we'll take it. It's really fun. The team is amazing. My boss is a freaking G. Love that man already, and I've been employed for like a week. Actually, technically two, but I've only worked for a week because there was a week of nothing. But anyway, I have to go from Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is where I'm currently driving, all the way over to Dearborn, Michigan, for the Detroit Pro, which I'm so freaking stoked for. Then I have to drive back the next day to Grand Rapids to work the same expo again. So we got a fair bit happening. We got a little bit, and it's going to require. I will not be able to stop at home because I would like to, the goal is, and hopefully it can turn out this way because I packed accordingly. I want to stay more or less in the southern part of Michigan, down in the good old countryland. That's not true to say because there's more cities I think in the kind of southern part of Michigan than anywhere else. But the point is, I live north of all those places, so it's just going to be more convenient, a little better on my car because she's fighting for her life to begin with, so let alone driving her this far is going to be a bit of an iffy situation, but it should work out just fine. So, that's going to be kind of the deal. And I want to give you the roadmap because this is going to be crazy. So, pretty much, we're starting off today working the XO. I might try to get a couple clips here and there of, me doing some stuff. Don't know how, nice that is. Don't know how company policy that is. I read the employee handbook. I should be okay taking a couple clips as long. Probably shouldn't get any customers and recording stuff, but I get myself, schmucking them up, being like, hey, you need a shower? I think you could use a new shower, or at least a new shower inspection. That's kind of like the main thing we do as salespeople. We're not really trying, well, not salespeople, but more of a marketer kind of person. We're not trying to sell the shower. We are just trying to sell, the idea of the inspection and the value of the inspection. Because it's actually kind of nice, going to kind of throw it out there. It's just like, I'm going to cut that. There's no point. So here's the plan of here's my theoretical, how would I like everything to play out kind of deal. So we're going to go through this expo. I'm going to rock this shit. I'm going to nail it. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to get a couple sales. Going to make some money. And then from there, so working that 9 to 5, then from there, we're going to start making our way over to Detroit. So, and the plan is there to hit a gym up along the way. I don't know a gym yet. I will have to look into it because, it's already going to be kind of quirky just kind of getting over there. Because, I hate the highway going east. I hate all highways going east in Michigan for some reason. I don't know why. They just kind of suck. A lot of potholes. So, we're going to be, heading over there, and we'll see, because it's I kind of want to find a gym that's a little quirky, little fun, a little goofy. But the issue there is that not a lot of goofy. I mean, a lot of places offer day passes, but it's gonna be a little pricey endeavor heading to Detroit. I can't lie. I plan on getting a little something. Plan on getting a little cool thing here and there around Una Square and stuff like that. So I really do hope to head over there and do some things, buy some things, not just necessarily mooch off the vendors that are there, and actually get a good experience, enjoy it, and all that stuff. Also, I don't know what other random expenses will kind of pop up, so I would like to kind of be very frugal, I think that's the right term, whilst I'm over there. So that's kind of what we'll be working with in that regard. So make our way over, and then the quirky part. So I'm only 20. I can't get a hotel room legally. Something about I could bring liquor or liquor, I barely know her, but just bring alcohol and stuff like that, and then hotels, liability, and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to sleep in my car, which on paper, not the most cool thing ever. And I probably could find a person to hang with for the night, but I really don't want to. And admittedly, I wish I didn't, because I really would have rather work the expo, hit my usual gym, and then just chilled at home. That would have been awesome. That would have been great. But the problem is, prejudging, mind you, it's for the NPC portion of stuff, so it's I'm I'm not too pressed to get there, but I do want to check out the amateur level of competition because, you know, maybe next year if I'm feeling oh so inclined, I might compete in it for the fun of it. Who knows? So, goal is to get there 9 a.m. bright and early. Also, the goal is to probably get a workout in like around 7 a.m. too. That way, it's like I get my workout done and just enjoy the expo and like, you know, all that fun stuff for the entire day. So, we're gonna try to pull it off. It'll be very interesting. But yeah, so then we're gonna get there, you know, do a workout. I've heard good things about a Powerhouse gym in the area. Also, I've seen a fair bit of, you know, the guys competing in that show, in the pro show at least, a portion of it. They've been working out there, so, you know, I might stop by there. They're not gonna be their day of show, obviously, but it's like, you know, get to use some equipment that, you know, they've looked at. That's kind of weird to say and kind of, I don't know, but, you know, it should be interesting. And then from there, you know, after I watch, you know, the prejudging, then head to finals, which should be really epic. And yeah, I'm just super hyped. Gonna try to do some, you know, chatting with people, some net working, and, you know, seeing how all of that fun stuff goes. So yeah, it will be really cool. It's gonna be really awesome. And then from there, I'm probably gonna start making my way back over to the Grand Rapids area after the show is all said and done. Because from there, yeah, because it's another 9 to 5 on Sunday, or it's like 10 to 4. I can't remember the exact times. But it's another shift thing we gotta do on Sunday, and we will take that in strides, gosh darn it. And then from there, that's my day. That is my weekend. And yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of moving around, a lot of doing. And yeah, I'm hyped. Now we're trekking over to the place where the stuff is happening. It's going to be a little closer to time than anticipated. Well, cutting it closer than anticipated. Just because, the parking I found a little bit of a hike away. But that's okay. That's completely fine. Getting my steps in and stuff. Oh man, I just hope that I can bring food in as a person working at the place. Alrighty, we are indeed at the expo, in the expo. And yeah, this is pretty cool. Part of me is wondering if maybe there's a company shirt I should be wearing, but, you know, for the time being, yeah, I'm vibing. A little chat with the boss man. Apparently it was, so this is my first ever day kind of actually on the job. And for like the first hour-ish, maybe 30 minutes-ish or something like that of this whole expo, I am taking it solo, which is quite entertaining on paper. Should be interesting, but, you know, we were in our little kind of area. Let me show you how I got it set up. Now, I did not build any of the shower setup. However, you know, we have our little enter twin, along with, I made the table look nice, so proud of that. And then I added little sponges and soaps in the shower displays. So yeah, hopefully this is a really freaking fun time. I'm hoping it is. I think it will be. And you wanna know why? Because I'm gonna make it fun. That's what I do. I'm a cool guy like that. Alright, I got sent to a Costco. So yeah, moral of the story, the expo, bit of a bust. I only got one lead that entire time, and it was like only a partial lead, so yikes. So yeah, trying our luck. I'm now a bit farther south in a different location. I'm working at trying to get a Costco. See what we can get. Nothing like annoying some shoppers, but well, maybe if there's money in it. Alright, that was a day. Okay, so I should have probably recorded more of this. I'm realizing after the fact, because it was an 11-hour day. And now I have to drive over to Detroit for the Detroit Pro. Shucks. Okay, but all right, let's kind of give it a little rundown because the clips, I didn't get as many as I wanted because I was surprised. I was working. I was actually doing my job. So, you know, we got to, you know, pick and choose. We can't be, you know, content creator all the time kind of person. But, you know, for what it was worth, it was pretty nifty. Yeah, worked a nice amount of hours at the expo, and it was just a rough day for everybody. I was working with two other guys, you know, 3 of us total, and yeah, there were not a lot of people, so we found ourselves kind of sending one of us off, just kind of, you know, get out to create some space in our little booth area. No one was biting. We went up to other, vendors and we're like, hey, how's business for you guys going? it was pretty not great for everybody. It might have been just a general Friday thing. You know, the convention kind of started today. More people may be showing up on the weekends. In that case, apparently Saturday is the heavy hitter day, and I'll be over in Dearborn freaking wooting it up with some, you know, oiled up guys on a stage. I won't be oiled up myself. I'll be cheering on the oiled up men, but we're gonna, yikes, you know, I said that out loud, and people would probably hear that and go, yeah, that seems very queer of you. Anyway, but the next thing there is like, I don't know where I'm going with it. Yeah, okay, then we went on to freaking Costco, and, oh, jeez, I was just, by the time I got to Costco, I had been up for nearly 11 hours, and I was tired, I was quite anxious, a little hungry, and, yeah, it was showing. I mean, I talked to a fair bit of people, but I was not able to really get any leads. I wasn't able to schedule any appointments, because that's kind of our whole goal, with the company I'm working for, is like, we schedule appointments for our people to go out, make some measurements and all that fun stuff, you know, write quotes, and like, that's kind of all we can control, and that's what we want to see happen, because, you know, if they get a quote and it looks nice, they might, you know, purchase a shower, and that's kind of the whole thing we're trying to get started there. So that was big. I got one solid appointment, really fun family and stuff like that. They seem like really great people, so I'm hoping it could be something that, you know, is affordable for them and all that stuff. But sales, me aside, it was just a long day. It was a really freaking long day. And now I have to drive approximately, I'd say like an hour 45, over just east and stuff.
All right, good freaking morning, everybody. So, yeah, as you can tell from the little blanks back there. Yep, we enjoyed the rest stop. It was nifty. My knees kind of hurt because I was kind of crammed in my back seat. But we made it through the night, all that fun stuff. And, yeah, now it's day of. I can't believe it. I'm not even participating. I'm, like, watching. But even then, super stoked. Right now it's currently, like, 8:20 something. And, pre-judging for the NPC kind of class of people are going to be happening here shortly. But the meet and greet's going to be happening as well. And I did want to go see the NPC guys, but I'll probably just rewatch the live stream. Admittedly, because, like, I want to go meet some people. I want to go, you know, bump into maybe a Mr. Olympia competitor or two and stuff like that. So I'm really hyped. I'm very stoked. I think it'll be very nifty. I might need a hat. The hair's looking, I mean, it's like, actually, and all things considered, we're doing pretty good. Made the maybe well-informed choice to load up on 2 McDoubles and a medium fry, just because I knew the sodium and the carbs and the fats and stuff like that. The pump will go crazy today once I go to hit the gym, and then just generally walking around, the pump should be pretty okay, because as we all know, you know, it's you're always kind of doing a show of sorts for somebody. And yeah, I'm hyped. I feel a little bloated though, I can't lie. My stomach maybe doesn't like it the best, but I got some yogurt that I'm probably gonna quickly pound down and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I will be, next time I'll see y'all will be at the, it's like Michael A. Guido Theater, where they're doing all that stuff, so, yeah.
So, kind of while we're on our merry way over to the Dearborn area, let's kind of discuss lightly what I think is going to happen, what I would like to see happen as far as the pro portion of the Detroit Pro and all that stuff. So, let's start with, you know, thoughts on how the Open could end up going. It'll be interesting. Popular opinion, is William Bonac is probably going to be the man to beat, more or less, just because historically he has, the best placing out of all the guys, like, who are competing. He's placed highest at the Olympia out of them. He's won more. I don't know if he's won more pro shows, but, he has a fair bit under his belt. I mean, he's been in the sport for a fair bit. The man's, like, in his 40s at this point and still looking freaking phenomenal and still, like, placing 8th at the Olympia, which is, like, freaking amazing. So that will be very exciting to see. And along with that, so he's looking like the favorite. Personally, I would like to see James Hollingshead, maybe perchance show up and maybe take home a little something, little first place. I think it would be really cool. I totally forgot the name of the guy who coaches Wesley and Martin, but he coaches James now, and he just watching his content for a little bit, it was really kind of cool. And oh god, there's a car behind me. But it was really nice and cool, like, to see him feel very confident and, like, honestly look really freaking good at the Arnold. So I would love to see him kind of place high. I think that'd be really nifty if he can maybe squeeze out a first. because he's a really like nice, genuine guy. And honestly, I can't lie, I'm a huge fan of a lot of these British Open guys as of late. Just the way they kind of are. A lot of British bodybuilders in general. I'm starting to vibe with, like, in the beginning, it used to be like, oh yeah, America, we have about. No, they got some. Other, along with their fidgets and Nicky whackers and other weird foods over there. I mean, like, Britain's giving us some pretty dense physiques, some pretty good physiques. So I'm hyped for that. Just to kind of see this light little British invasion of the bodybuilding world happen. Like Jack Deagle, he's going to be doing, he's doing the pro for the classic and stuff. And I think it'd be cool to see him play swole as well, because I started watching his content once I saw he was going to be a competitor in the Detroit Pro. So, and I'm not a long-time fan of him, obviously, but, he's grown on me, and I think he's a pretty nifty dude. So, with that, that's honestly my only real thoughts on the Open. Carlos Thomas Jr., it would be cool to see him bring, like, a wicked package and, maybe, like, make a nice kind of fight for the top three. I don't know if that's going to happen. And then there are just some other names that I can't quite remember, which is kind of blaming me. But, now the big thing, which isn't really the big thing, because there's only really two very, very notable classic competitors, but Wesley Visser versus Matt Grego to win the Detroit Pro. Now, I got a couple of different trains of thought, because honestly, this is the thing that I'm really invested in, as, one, I'm currently a classic guy. We'll see how long that lasts. Two, I'm just a huge Wesley fan. And it's interesting, because, Wesley currently has his little plan. He's going to do the Detroit, he's going to do this show, and then he's going on hiatus. He's not doing the Olympia this year, so he can actually, like, do a freaking phenomenal job, or just, like, what he feels he needs to do to bring out some of his, like, weaker parts, just to bring a more complete package kind of deal to the stage and stuff like that. Because, I mean, ever since his Arnold 2024 like appearance, that man has been fighting to achieve that look again, because it was an amazing look. Now, the big unfortunate part of Wesley's physique is that, at least in the eyes of a lot of judges, it seems, it's not a physique that can beat other physiques at its best. But at Wesley's best, he can beat, some of the maybe quote-unquote aesthetic, more kind of symmetrical, just better aesthetic kind of physiques, or whatever you want to refer to him as. He can beat them as long as they're off. So I think it's good for him to, I think it's a smart decision to take a step back from the Olympia and come back with something that, is a bit more locked in, per se. Because the thing is, it's like, he's obviously been locked in. It's just like, he's had some, like, weird spouts of bad luck, which is really unfortunate, because he's a really awesome guy. He's, out of everyone who's doing this show, like, I've been following him the longest. I kind of picked up on him. I kind of, caught his drift, more or less, right before he won, the Arnold Classic. So, when he did, I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, and it was so cool to see that happen. So, with that, if you couldn't tell, I obviously want him to take home the win, but it would be kind of nice just for Matt Grego to get that Olympia qualifying thing here. Yeah, but that's like he's actually going for it, so he deserves it. No, you gotta win. There's a lot of talk now about, like, all these, like, former Mr. Olympias doing and, like, winning some of these open shows. People being like, but you're less people get a chance to do the Olympia now. It's like, they weren't gonna win anyway. Like, if you're gonna be on the Olympia stage, you have to earn your right there. It isn't a participation trophy. Like, sorry to say. So I'm a huge fan that we have a lot of these top guys kind of keeping a lot of these, like, little guys down, per se. Like, not in, like, the oppressive way, but just, like, it forces, people, it forces them to adapt. Like, you have to get better, or else, like, there's no way. And frankly, it makes me happy that, that's kind of a thing we're seeing a fair bit more now. So, that's how I kind of feel. But admittedly, we saw Matt Grego at the Arnold of this year, 2025, beat Mr. Wesley. So, it's going to be interesting. Mind you, Wesley came in pretty dang depleted and flat, just because he had a sickness, like, leading into the Arnold week, which, that timing is horrendous, and I feel so bad for the guy. But, update photos, looking good. He doesn't look like he's been dying yet with some of his physique shots and posts and things, so it's going to be amazing. Also, I'm so excited to see his physique in person, just because, like, as far as classic goes, he is one of the more statuesque, larger kind of dudes, and I'm just hyped to see these people in person, because you hear it all the time. It's always like, you really can't tell unless you're there in person, which even though, camera quality has gotten pretty good, I agree. Like, I have not seen too many terribly large people in my life as of yet. But, like, you gotta see a lot of these guys in person, to be completely honest with you. And that's, I say that because I've gone to a couple of, larger, kind of more popular gyms, and I've seen some, like, large guys. And it's, like, one of those things, like, I don't know, just because I'm so chronically online or something like that, but I can kind of see a person in person and be like, if I saw that physique on my phone, I would probably be not as impressed as I am standing in the presence of it, kind of deal. So, the annoying part of social media is that, but on the bright side, it kind of makes seeing things in person, like, a little bit more special, per se. Because, like, now that, we have access to looking at these physiques pretty much whenever we feel, like, to see it in person and stuff like that, it makes that rare, which, in the past, it used to be the situation where it's, like, getting a hold of these physiques, like, in the off-season time and stuff like that, that was the rare part, and seeing them in person was the most reliably common thing. Now it's a little bit of a vice versa. But, yeah, I'm very, very hyped to see how all this plays out. Oh, another thing about that, so, I'm going to be making a little, run, for some IFBB Pro cardage sometime in the nearish future kind of deal. So another thing that'll be really nice to see, like, I've been hearing word that currently the amateur circuit in, like, the open bodybuilding kind of division of things is freaking insane. So I'm kind of curious to see how these, like, amateur open guys look. But then I've also heard that the amateur classic, like, obviously it's still, like, hard because, you're working with guys who are on gear and stuff, like, so they're going to be freaking little crazy looking. Like, also, equally as insane, but not as crazy. Like, I've heard a lot of people be like, the open and the amateur is hard, but a bit more doable in the pro level. But then classic's the one where it's like, it's easier to get, like, the pro card, but then significantly harder to get any kind of momentum at pro shows. Because, like, there's just a lot more reliance on, because, like, to an extent, right now, as it stands, you are still able to outmass compared to outclass people to an extent in open, it seems, which, like, we're not quite out of that mass monster era just yet, which I'm honestly kind of okay with, because, I don't think I would ever want to look that way, but I think it's really cool when other people do, because I think it's just so freaking phenomenal what the human body can pull off. But yeah, so we got that, but then, like, with classic, with your weight caps and everything, you, like, have to be so perfect that you don't really have that room to, kind of outmass the class and all that stuff. But also, just different judging criteria. So, I'm excited to see, like, what people are looking like, what kind of physiques are on the stage and all that fun stuff. But, yeah, with that, I gonna be, getting over to a place here soonish, and I will, probably see y'all somewhere. Okay, so we're here. We're at the place. Signed in, checked in, and all that stuff. Got my wristbands. And as I was walking in, Martin Fitzwater was too. And so it's just like, I'm waltzing in with him just right there. It was so crazy. Like, then I walked into the little expo room. Like, Seth Feroci was there. Like, I'm blown away. This is, literally, coolest thing ever. Coolest day of my life thus far. This is awesome.
Are the Detroit fans going to live up to their reputation as some of the loudest fans in all of sports?
Alrighty, and just like that, that's classic and, shucks, it's both classic and open. The prejudging is done. And that was insane. Those guys look absolutely freaky as all heck and freaking ginormous. It's just like, wow. So cool. It was so cool to see these guys like on a stage. I will admit, I'm not too impressed with the average bodybuilding fan. I mean, I get it. It's not like as cool because, you know, we kind of see the physiques leading up to the day of, but even then it's like, I mean, I was probably the loudest guy in that auditorium and I felt kind of silly because I was screaming yeah a lot and like cheering a lot as one does. But like, how can you not? It's just like, it's so cool. It's such like a fun thing. Like it's a freaking pro show. People are competing to make it to the Olympia. And to me, that is just so awesome, so cool. I've talked to Seth Ferrocci. I've talked to Martin Fitzwater. I've had a chance to chat with just a bunch of different people. And then a little bit of with Fuad and stuff. So the next kind of two people I wanted to try to chat with, Samson, whenever the heck he shows up, and then Ian, Valeri. I've heard it pronounced so many different ways, but I would love to have a conversation with him. Part of me was gonna stop but he was talking bodybuilding with some people and. It's weird. So, the current fit, we're vibing with, the light blue, kind of more vintage aesthetic. I stand out like a fucking sore thumb because everyone else is dressed in like black and grays and just dark, sad colors. And it's like, why the hell are we doing that, man? Why not dressing all fancy and stuff? But I mean, that's just me. But yeah, overall, current predictions, classic. I don't know. I really don't know. It's obviously between, Wesley and, Matt Grego, but like, I couldn't tell you which one's going to make it. The finals is going to be the make or break for that. And then the open, that will be another kind of make or break because it's Bonac and someone, I forgot the other guy's name, but he's like, he came out of retirement. Looks freaking phenomenal. Like, it's just so unreal. And like the size of these guys, like it's, oh my Lord, it's absolutely unbelievable. They're just balls of mass. It's crazy. But yeah, now I hope to, kind of show up per se to finals and watch all that happen. And I'm just so stoked. I'm so excited because this is awesome. This is literally a dream come true. Like being able to just talk with some of these people that I more or less idolize and all that stuff. And, we're going to get there someday. And gosh darn it, it's going to be so awesome. Also, I got some photos with Martin and just everybody I got photos with, their arms, oh geez, they make mine look like little toothpicks. So, I mean, obviously they're not my main goal right now, but just like, gotta work on them.
Between us, how do you think we should break this tie?
Break the tie.
Pose down!
Yeah!
Now, you got that in the American accent. Now we need to get into the very deep announcer, the European accent. So Wesley, repeat after me. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Let's pose down.
Please take the first place trophy, the check for $15,000, and the all-important Olympia qualification, and present it to our winner tonight.
Come on, Wesley!
Matthew! trophy, the check for $25,000, and the all-important Olympia qualification, and presented to our winner. It's very quiet in here. The Conqueror! Let's go to the man who has seriously turned back the clock. I feel as if I am back in 2019, watching you place runner-up at the 2019 Olympia. That's exactly what you look like. Congratulations, William. An absolute vintage performance. Talk to us about the package you brought here that allowed you to be victorious over a very conditioned Sasan Hirati.
I just want to thank you guys.
Yeah!
They love you here in Detroit. You guys make the show. You know, without you guys, it wouldn't be like this. You understand? You guys give us energy. We're tired, you know, from the dieting weeks after weeks. And when we come here, you know, we want to give you something. You understand? And you guys give us the energy to give you that something. So I appreciate you.
Yeah!
You are truly the embodiment of somebody. We talk about setbacks, we talk about taking time off the bodybuilding circuit like you did. You didn't just come back, you came back better. What has allowed you to just continuously improve? Virgin, I can tell you're getting emotional. This journey of yours has been truly epic. Again, we talk about you being one of the more dominant bodybuilders of the last decade, yet you continue to reinvent yourself.
Like, I'm pure, or everyone is seeing me over here, but, you know, I have a team. And I'm not doing this by myself. You know, it's important to have a team. And not just my coach, you know, but the people that I see every day. You know, my partners, you know, my wife, my kids. These are my motivation. You know, and for them, I do what I do. You understand? Because I love bodybuilding, you know, and the time that I took off, I just wanted to spend more time with my family. You get me? Because I got a son, 15 years old, and I have another son, he's 5 years old, you know, daughter, almost 7 years old, and 6 month, baby daughter. So, family is everything to me, you know, and like, I took off to spend more time with them to start some businesses because I don't want to quit with bodybuilding, you know, with empty pockets, you get me? So that was the reason why I stepped out, you know, to do some more business. And now I got my thing going on. I thought like, you know, the fire is still burning, so let me give it a try. So I just started all the way from the bottom. My legs were gone, you know, I had some injuries, but I still came back, you know, so always believe in yourself, no matter what people say about you, whether they believe in you or not. The most important part is the one that's backing you up 24/7 back home. You know, like I said, I'm standing here, I won this trophy, but it's my family who won this trophy for me. Because without my wife, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to even get here, you know, because she's right now taking care of 3 kids by herself. You know, so for all the women over here supporting bodybuilders or any athletes, we appreciate you. Even though sometimes we act like a dick, you know, because of smooth swings, you know, we love you and we appreciate you guys. And without you, we couldn't do what we love to do. So thank you, ladies. We love you.
One of the best kings of bodybuilding, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best bodybuilders in the world, William.
Ben, Paul. All right, so the three of us put our heads together, and you guys watch us on the podcast all the time. We're always talking about, we wish we could just do whatever we wanted with the shows, and we've asked the top brass, and the top brass said, you guys can do whatever you want. So we decided that we wanted the Open Men's winner to compete against the Classic Physique winner. Let's find out who the King of Detroit is. This is live now. I had 1,100 votes. And the winner is the conqueror, William Bonak.
All right, we have the very poorly lit little Detroit Pro recap. That was awesome. I'm gonna be on that stage someday. I'm with the pro stage there someday. I'm gonna make a little promise. That's probably gonna be a bit much, but we'll get there when we get there. I'm going to win the Detroit Pro one day, or I'm gonna win a show at this freaking show someday. It might be the NPC. It could be more. I don't know. Wrapped up on my way out. I got to say, I'm not sure if you saw it. I said good job to Jack the Eagles. That was pretty cool. James Hollingshead, but I got to chat with him and Sass a little bit, so that was honestly really, really cool to see. And, talk to him just a little bit and stuff like that. Although, man, those guys are fucking conditioned. Mind the language there. But, dude, that death face, legit. It's so crazy. When they're up close, absolute monsters. Even when they're on a stage, right in front of you. But they're just a little bit farther back. The closer you get, it's crazy. It is insane how they look, and it's really awesome. But, yeah, now... shucks, that was insane. Also, I think I bumped into 4 to 5 different people. I don't really remember too well who knew me, who knew my content and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I got to see Matt Grego off the stage. That was cool. And yeah, that was just it was different than what I was expecting. I can't lie. It didn't feel, it felt like a bodybuilding show, which it sounds shocking, but it was reminiscent of when I did my show. It had that same kind of energy to it, and just shocking. A bodybuilding show is a bodybuilding show at its core. So that was kind of an interesting little thing to see happen. And yeah, now time for a pretty long drive to Grand Rapids or something in the Grand Rapids area, because I'll have to get up, head to Planet Fitness. Other stuff. It's going to be a long night and a long day tomorrow. But then we're sleeping in oh so soundly and all that stuff, and probably putting this video together, probably recording some more stuff, just talking about it more, because it was a wonderful freaking time. So, yeah. All freaking righty. It is now officially day after the Detroit Pro, and let's talk about it a little bit. So, first things I would like to say, a big old congratulations to Matthew Grego for winning the Classic. That was honestly, that was a hard fought battle, and one honestly, in the long run, I do see Maui won it from Wesley. It was really interesting because on paper, I always thought Grego's physique, because you see it online, I always thought okay, it's whatever. In person, oh my gosh, it's absolutely insane. And then also, a big old shout out to freaking William the Conqueror Bonak for freaking nailing it and winning the Open. That was awesome to see. So the big thing, another thing that happened is they had a showdown between the winner of the Classic and the winner of the Open, in which they called, the King of Detroit. And that was pretty cool. It was very kind of, I'm not sure if it was spur of the moment. I mean, it was pretty spur of the moment. They literally, the day before the show, they were giving the thumbs up to make it happen and allow those two guys to kind of go at each other per se. And honestly, I've not been to many pro shows. I've not been to any other pro shows, but for what it's worth, that Detroit Pro, it might just be my favorite on paper show. I know we're gonna have things like the Pittsburgh, we're gonna have things there's the Arnold. There's these huge events. But this was an event that was by bodybuilders, for bodybuilders, for the love of bodybuilding. It wasn't your Arnold where it's they have 30 other things happening in the same weekend. And while the Pittsburgh is very much for bodybuilding, obviously, they're paying the bodybuilders a fair bit for those who place high, and I think that's very respectable. The people who do the Detroit Pro, they know they're not going to be getting paid the most. They're doing it because they want to do the Detroit Pro. So I think it's a nice little thing. I think it's cool. I think give it 5 years, this may be keep your eyes open, the Pittsburgh Pro, because I'm hoping it'll be maybe the next big thing in the next 5 years, because it is just unbelievable, the production quality. I saw some clips from the live stream, and I was there in person. The clips from the live stream looked better than the guys in person at times, which is insane. Mind you, the cameras are a little bit, they could zoom in a bit more and have some better like quality, but seeing these guys IRL, crazy, absolutely insane. It was really cool. I got to actually talk to a couple of the competitors like at the end of the entire like whole ordeal. So that was honestly really cool. That kind of made my day just to chat with some of them. Although these gents like pretty much were, you know, starving themselves and kind of dying. The death face on a lot of them was so real. But yeah, with that, I'm now feeling very inspired to possibly, maybe for my first NPC show, maybe I might be doing the Detroit Pro. I think it would be pretty nifty, but it would be the Detroit Am for me, amateur. So I'm kind of very curious to see how all of that plays out. So yeah, for what it's worth, you know, really fun show, really fun experience. Got to meet some fans, got to, you know, chat with some of them. It was just really cool. Meet some followers. I had this one guy at the end of the show be like, "Oh man, wait, you're blah blah blah," and I'm like, "I am blah blah blah," and then I was like, "Dude, love your content, your physique is awesome." And he was talking, he's like, "Dude, yeah, I was showing my friend here because I saw you around. Like, I was showing him like your back and stuff. He's like, you look crazy." And I'm like, "Oh, why, thank you. That's actually really nice of you." And it was, and it's just like, it gives me a little bit of hope that perchance, maybe, give it a little bit, I might be able to, you know, be something a little bit more than what I currently am. And it was just nice. It was reassuring because that, I mean, the one thing I will say, and it's not a good thing, like that entire event, I was feeling not too great the entire time because so I went alone, you know, by my lonesome, and the issue with that is that I get in my own head a little bit, and when I'm left with my own thoughts and I'm not really conversating with other people, I kind of the not so good thoughts about myself just kind of start popping up. It's like, really, do we have to do that? And it did. I got over myself, but like, what it was worth, not my favorite thing ever. But what was my favorite thing ever is I pretty much got photos with everybody I wanted to get photos with. So I am very happy for that. And yeah, with that, I'm going to be scouting out the next pro show I'm going to be heading to, because that was way too freaking awesome to not go see another. I, like, straight up. And it's cool. Like, you know, met some people. And I want to call it, I didn't do networking as I would want to. Mind you, I'm not really big enough to warrant any kind of networking thing in any kind of capacity yet. So, it gave me some motivation, though, because it's just like, I kind of have a feel that you know, I don't know what I need to do, but I know I need to do something, and that's better. Like, you know, the knowing you don't have a plan or knowing you don't know what to do is better than, you know, being unaware that you don't know what to do. So yeah, with that, it's gonna be nifty. Yeah, gotta get to an expo, gotta do some stuff and things, and we're gonna be living it up. All right, hasta la basti. Alrighty, so back home after everything that went down. There's another expo I had to do. I don't know if I recorded any of it, but oh my gosh, I slept not great this entire weekend and definitely lost some water. We're not looking as full in the face, which we're okay with. But in that same vein, lack of water is not great when you're trying to put on a fair bit of muscle. So, moral of the story, I guess the main thing I wanted to quickly do here, I'll probably make another video kind of doing a little wrap-up of everything. So, you know, Expo Fit, we rocked that. That was pretty cool. Didn't sell a single shower because it's a Sunday, and who's going to go to a home show on a Sunday? But anyway, I want to do the whole Detroit Pro haul. You know, some stuff I got for free, some stuff I bought, so let's just kind of quickly go over it. So, starting off first, Hacks and Sledge, of course, you know, Seth Feroci, you know, the man, the CEO of the company, he was there, had some free stuff. He had this freaking epic hat that I'm really happy that, you know, they were kind of giving away, so that'll be awesome to wear, a little bit more of a timely, more gym-oriented thing than my old, like, restaurant kind of wear hat. Then along with that, we bought stuff because it was at a discounted rate, and admittedly, it looks pretty nifty, seems pretty fun. So, what the heck did I also get from Axe and Sledge? We got, you know, extra large t-shirt kind of deal, which, it is cooler than I anticipated. And you'll notice a lot of the stuff I got, it's large. it's larger than what it needs to be because I'm not an extra large person right now. However, I plan on getting there. So, you know, I want to keep stuff, you know, ready and available. That way I can grow into it. Some motivation. Another cool thing is that Martin Fitzwater has stickers. I don't know if he brings them to all the different expos and stuff he does, but yeah, he had some stickers that he gave, along with it got a little crumpled in transit. But I'm gonna frame this and stuff like that because I'm gonna say it here. I'm gonna be on the same stage as this sucker eventually. It's gonna happen. Hopefully he's in the sport long enough, and hopefully I can get to the place where, you know, I can, you know, get there just in general. So there's that. Now there's some more stuff from Axe and Sledge, but for now we're gonna go on to some of the hostile stuff I got, because they had some just kind of old stock stuff that they were kind of, you know, selling for a relatively cheaper price than what it would have been. Starting off with the first thing I ended up getting, which is just like this pretty gnarly, like kind of zip up hostile hoodie. This thing is freaking massive, as we can tell in comparison to, you know, this to me kind of thing. So this will be a grow into it kind of project along with, you know, some of the other stuff. But the other thing I ended up getting, because so I'm a pretty big Samson Dowda fan. Really hoping he can, you know, be our first, you know, back-to-back Olympia winner. In a fair bit at this point, I think, since Phil Heath. So kind of hoping he can, you know, make that happen, because I think he has a physique and a personality deserving of so. I got a signature shirt of his, which I usually don't get signature shirts of people, but Samson, he's just like such a cool dude that I honestly, you know, I'm happy to rep him in the gym doing my lifts. And it was actually really cool. Fun story that happened. Yeah, I got a photo with him. He was doing a little meet and greet thing. He was kind of getting rushed through just because, you know, we had to get to the pro show and stuff like that. People had to spectate and all that. But, well, sorry, as I go up to him to take a quick photo, and I say to him, it's like, hey, you know what you did at the Olympia press conference, dude? That was so awesome. And he's like smiling at me, being like, bro, you thought so? And all that other stuff. And I'm like, dude, that was amazing. And then, you know, he's talking, he's like, yeah, then I went on one thing, and I went like, yeah, dude, that was the icing on the cake. And then he's like, yeah, dude, it was the icing on the cake. Such a genuinely amazing human being. Like, I'm so happy I meet him. I'm so happy, even though I didn't get to talk to him for a while. That brief interaction I had with him, it just felt so sincere and so wholesome. So, Samson, please, for the good of the sport, continue to win your Olympias. Please and thank you. And then last two things I got from the Axe and Sledge little thing. We got a little sample pack of a never-ending chocolate, a kind of isolate protein powder, and then I'm happy. Oh, I'm so happy for this. A lanyard. Oh gosh, it's nice to have a more, you know, a nice lanyard. I've been needing one for a little bit because my old lanyard, it's from a school that I don't go to anymore. But that's besides the point. So, the last, you know, two big things I end up getting are from the Mutant brand of like supplements kind of deal. You know, they sponsor Andrea Shaw and some other kind of like up and coming IFBB pros and some stuff, and some people have been on the Olympia stage. I can't remember who they said. I got a thing of their hardcore BCAAs, and then also their Mind FK, because I want to keep this PG, pre-workout. So I'm going to be testing these and probably giving them some reviews, probably in an upcoming video, definitely on my social medias, because low-key, I would like to work with this company. Just the way the people were at the booth at the Detroit Pro, it was like relatively toned down, very like kind of simple stuff and like, you know, nice easy setup. But like, it seems like a really nice brand to work with. I do really want to get to a point where it's like I'm working with either Hostile, an Axe and Sledge, or, you know, a Mutant. And now another thing, TikTok shop order. Or wait, is this another Hostile thing? Oh my gosh, it's my other Hostile order. Okay, so I guess we're doing more Hostile unboxing. So. These I may not quite remember exactly what I got, but clearance. By the way, none of this was full price. I don't pay full price for anything. I'm a cheapo, and that's just kind of how it is. But we got some. Holy smokes, these are larger than I anticipated. So these might have to wait a little bit to wear as well. So we got their Phantom shorts or something like that. And Loki, yeah, I got extra larges. These are going to take a little bit to fill out, but pretty much they're a little bit longer. Pretty nice. Hopefully if I get some wicked thighs and some wicked calves, those will be a nice little wear. So, motivation to get big legs is what I'll call that one. Then we have, this is one of the hoodies. I don't know if I got two or just the one. We'll find out as I go through it. So, with this one, ended up, what was it called? Ethos? Is that like their Ethos hoodie brand? I don't know. But moral story, it's just a nice, pretty, like, simple, standard, like, kind of plain hoodie. Once again, freaking massive, because I order big things because I want to be a big thing, And yeah, pretty simple. The only kind of, label ogling, just a little hostile thing down by the pocket. So, I saw this. It was like, I think, around the $15, $20 mark. And I'm like, hostile, I'll wrap it, love it to bits. Awesome. All right, and there are 2 more items in here. Oh yeah, this one. So this one was like, I think, this one was a fun one. Just general, like, wearing long sleeve shirts. I don't have a lot. And I saw this one. I kind of enjoyed the color scheme a little bit, Your nice, greens and whites. And also, it's very light material as well. And I've always kind of wanted to get a shirt with, like, the short, long sleeve kind of situation. Helps accentuate the forearms, so, yeah. And here's another kind of, this is the same kind of sweatshirt that I showed you earlier, just in a brown. So, yeah, and then I think we got one more thing to kind of talk about. This, I'm really happy about. So, along with Samson Dowda being, like, one of my favorite current bodybuilders, you already saw me flout this one guy's signature and photo. We have the debut Olympia shirt of Martin Fitzwater, 4th place. Man showed up and did phenomenal for his first ever appearance. Pretty close to the likes of, I think, I don't know if Phil Heath placed 3rd his first one, but I know Lee Haney did. So he's just 1 place away, from maybe being the next Lee Haney. Who knows? But I saw this. I'm a huge fan of, Martin, how he be who he is. So, yeah. With that, that's just a general hostile haul along with some other stuff. Axe and Sledge and Mutant.